Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Six for Six. Yes, it's been so long since we did a last episode here. The last time we had an episode was season 3, episode 6 on May 31st. So, well, when you have your own speaker playing on top of that, that kind of throws things off. But without further ado, like I said, it's been almost a month since the last time I recorded an episode. And now we're live streaming as that is, but it's just been so, I would say, not hard. It's just like the middle of June, you get to the point of the year where sports are not as frequently televised. You start running to Apple TV. Some people may not have that. I just want things that people have easy access to that I know majority of the population have access to. So I'm not going to say, oh yeah, this game is only on Apple TV. If you don't have it, you're out of luck. Best case scenario, you just end up going to the game yourself, and it's like you're in that area when I'm talking about it. So like it kind of defaults itself in June and July. Is also in that same predicament where there's just not much televised going on in sports. Yes, you still got baseball. Yes, you got the MLS and the WNBA, but like a lot of those are going to streaming services, and a lot of those can be very challenging for viewers to get a hold of because I know a lot of streaming services are starting to change their format with sharing passwords. And we just want to make sure that you guys are able to watch these games without a hassle saying, well, I don't have that platform and I don't know friends that have it. But if I say it's on ESPN, most people have regular cable TV. They can get ESPN, they have Hulu. So there's ways to get around it. There's also typical news networks on ABC, NBC, CBS. A lot of that is on like local satellites, so you can still get those games. Like I try to make sure you guys get the best content that you can watch for your sports and also make the games more interesting. We don't want the dominant team playing the weaker team. We want games that are thrilling and coming down to the wire. It's been a while, like I said, that we talked about Six for Six as its longevity. Yes, we have finally reached 2 years of doing this, and I was going to do it on June 8th, but I just got busy hectic preparing things for my trip to San Francisco, celebrate Steven's wedding. Congrats to you, Steven. But it's like I said, June has always been a rough month for, I would say, this show. Just not much good sports content after like the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals. It's just hard to lock on a good point, but we're going to be back. Like I said, like the first announcement, like I'll go through, is the Women's World Cup starts end of July, July 20th. So we're going to make sure we get our 6 for 6 in for the Women's World Cup, and we're going to follow that all the way through. So in our picks, we're going to have 6 for 6 for the Women's World Cup. Hopefully, the United States can pull out another World Cup victory, but I also want to see some good quality soccer or football in other parts of the country. But it's just like the time slot for those games. Like the first game on July 20th is at 3 a.m. Eastern time. So that's like midnight Pacific time. So it's just like, how does one watch it? Yes, there's games at 9 p.m., but it's just like, how does one have the energy to just get through the day and like watch these games? Like we were going to be watching the reruns. I can guarantee you that. So like the excitement that we see is going to be delayed compared to some parts of the world. So without further ado, like I said, the Women's World Cup starts July 20th. 6 for 6 will be selecting some of those games to say who's going to win what. Yes, we're going to see more ties, and that's going to kind of go into our overall record, which we've been doing good this season in season 3, even though we only have done 6 episodes of true picks. But like I said, it's one of those things that as time progresses and 6 for 6 builds itself. Yes, we're only in year 2, and it's a slow, humble beginning. And I probably should be doing more for this show and putting it out there. I've just been doing other side projects that have been doing better than 6 for 6. I'm just going to be honest. But at the same time, 6 for 6 is the first time I'm kind of doing streaming and working on a microphone. Compared to the other projects I have, it's, those projects could be done so quick, so robust. They don't have to hear my voice or anything. And creating those videos are relatively quick, maybe an hour or 2 hours max to create. This, I got to build a script, look at it, record it, share it. And it's just like so many moving parts. And like I said, I could do a lot better job of growing this platform, making it easier and accessible for people to view, but also on the lines of just looking at the different possibilities that I can do with this. I have followers on Instagram for this. So it's probably most of those are bots, but there's some humans out there that are actually enjoying it. So trying to decipher those people from the bots versus real people, very challenging. But like I said, I got to get out to sporting events, take pictures, post it on 6for6 to really build up the sports mobility on this site and throw in the podcast as well. So like throw like an honorable mention game or a game that I'll be at, and then just like saying, here's the reason why we have this on the picks, and we'll be there live taking pictures and kind of build it as it goes. But let's go look back, ladies and gentlemen, at our season so far, thus far. So last episode, yes, a month ago, I can say almost. Last episode, we went 5-1 in our picks. Let's just recap how far it was. It was the first game of the NBA playoffs. We picked the Denver Nuggets in game 1, and they won. In game 2 for our picks, we had the Knights and Panthers, and we picked the Knights, and they won. The Chicago Sky and the New York Liberty was on June 4th, and I picked the Chicago Sky, and Chicago Sky won. So as you can see, we're 3-0. And then we hit women's softball because the World Series for the women's softball was going on at the time. So we had Alabama versus Tennessee. Tennessee won. And then you had Utah-Washington. That game was supposed to be played on June 1st, got postponed and played the next day, but Utah sadly lost. So I don't know how I would put that. The game got postponed. Does it count? Does it not? But if they replayed it like the next day, I think it counts. So we're going to make this as a loss. But like I said, I still don't know how to view it because this team still ended up playing. So I would say if it got moved to another day, I think you still got to count it. But like you have the Cincinnati Bengals and the Rams game where that game did not get replayed. So that makes this difficult. I don't think you could count it if I did select that game. So like that's the tricky part behind when games get postponed. And it's like, do you count it? Do you not? If they don't replay, it gets messy. But when games do happen, it's easy, said than done. And then our last game was Oklahoma State versus Florida State, and Florida State won. So as you can see, a great pick for us. We picked a lot of good schools, a lot of good matchups, and it worked out in our favor. So that improves our overall record this season, ladies and gentlemen. For season 3, our record is 19-15-1. Beautiful. We're doing great in our picks. Like I said, and once the Women's World Cup gets underway, we got some good picks for you for this. And we got a span of so many days. I feel like we're going to get caught up on broadcasting. I'm going to sit down, build scripts, try to turn things through, and just build that traction for this platform. I think if I put more time into it, it will start to grow. As like they say in the field of dreams, if you build it, they will come. And I think that's very true for a lot of these, podcasts. You build it, be consistent, keep posting on the regular, and it will too grow. I've seen it. I have, like I said, my other project I have is for music promotion, sharing people's music and getting them out there. And that has worked. I was consistent. I reached out to people. I always posted, and I was very consistent about it. And now it has over 350 subscribers on YouTube, over 200,000 views on the channel. And it's just been like 2 years. We started in 2020, December 9th, 2020, and it's been 2023. So it's just been growing and exploding. And yes, when my computer goes down, it has an impact to a lot of this production. So the viewership dipped because I wasn't able to post regularly. But now we're back. We're getting back to our routine where it was like we post every 3 days a new video. And now it's like we're getting the well-oiled machine back for my other brand, Two Tropical Trees. So if you're interested in that, definitely go check that out. It's growing. It's at a nice pace. I'm very proud of it. But now we got to work on the next thing. 6for6. Two Tropical Trees will still be there. I still love it to the day it dies. But that was my first, like the first child that ever created, and like is a true experience of developing on a social media platform and trying to grow a brand. I think I can do it again, but this is a different type of strategy. Definitely builds a lot of skills and characteristics. Definitely very proud of it. And same with this one too. It kind of put me out of the comfort zone, really learned about podcasting, how to really market my own brands from the very scratch and just developing it. Yes, I need to do more of a better job on this, but like I said, baby steps. Season 1 was just like picking games and just telling about sporting events. Season 2, we started making it more into pick'ems and keeping track of our wins and losses. And now season 3, we're still doing that, but I think I need to go into more of like more sports. Like we can still have our traditional 6 picks of wins and losses, but we can do like other sports as well, like racing, even though we can't decide a winner because there's like all these drivers and all that stuff that gets challenging. But we can put that out there. We can put F1 on here, NASCAR, IndyCar racing. We can take tennis, the Olympics, like stuff like that. We can jazz up this channel and really do it well. Like I said, take pictures where I go to sporting events and share it with you guys. I think that will definitely help this channel really grow it, and I'll be really proud of it. And I think we can just pump through and make something special. But even when we look back at, our second anniversary, we got to look at the lifetime of this, ladies and gentlemen. For the 2 seasons that we've been keeping track of our wins and losses, we're at 116 correct picks out of 104 incorrect picks and 3 ties. Those 3 ties came from Major League Soccer, of course. But besides that, we're doing fairly well in our picks, and this will start to grow and change as we pick more games, and hopefully we keep the losses to the minimum, and we'll eventually reach 200, victories. We'll celebrate, have a good time on the show. But I think I got to get back to the roots. We got to really hone in on this project. I'm going to do the best that I can to really grow it and develop it. I know it's like, well, you've been away for so long and all that stuff. Yeah, like I said, the summer months are very difficult to do because you got vacation in there. It's like, it's nice outside. You want to keep traveling, and just makes it more of a challenge in itself. Now, you can beg the differs, like, well, you can go to a city, you can broadcast there and all that stuff, take pictures and share and all that stuff. Yeah, certainly. But I don't want to be doing podcasts while I'm on vacation, unless, have like a circumstance where I'm with friends and, we all decide to go and do it. That's one thing. But like, I feel like when I'm there, I'm supposed to enjoy and relax. And then when I come back, I'm more refreshed for everybody who's listening. I think that's a very important thing. I know I've seen a lot of creators get burned out. They do so much, they don't give themselves breaks. And I think I do have a good, I would say, windows of breaks. I would say, after the new year, we got basically 5 months of like shows. And then once June hits through July, we get a little bit of a reprieve depending on what world events are happening, like the World Cup or Women's World Cup or the Olympics. You have that in there, but some years you don't have it, so you can take it relatively easy. And then in August, you get college football. So it's like you got a good chunk where you can do shows every other week. So it's not too dreadful. And then once college football in the NFL starts, that's when you go back almost to like your scheduled program shows every week, all the way up to the bowl games in December. So I have up to that week, basically when the conference championship games are played. That is one of those key pivotal points where it's like after that we stop because the bowl games get very interesting. You get some good, interesting matches, but we stop our picks there. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we got to do this right. I don't think there's any other better way to really get this off the ground. Well, not off the ground, but just do it. You just got to put in the hours, put in the work, put time on your calendar, even if it's like an hour a day. Yes, 60 minutes will definitely go a long way for this show. And I haven't been doing that. And I deeply apologize for that. But I think I've got to work in the calendar, just put it in, some time in, just really work it out and build it out like I did for Two Tropical Trees, my other brand. I put in the time, I set time aside, I made sure I was on top of it, made sure I was posting regularly, and then it grew. I had one song that hit off that I shared, and it just gained its traction. People were chiming in. Other artists liked what I was doing. They were supporting. They were sharing. They said, this guy's really good. He's been beneficial to our growth. And it was just very touching because it's like, yeah, people think, oh, yeah, you're stealing our song and all this stuff. I give you 100% credit where credit is due. Like I even put it saying all copyrights belong to respective people. I share links to where I got the post. So it's like, trying to cover all the bases and not deal with copy strike on YouTube. That's first and foremost. That's very difficult to get through, and it's annoying. But we gotten through it with the other one. I'm thankfully that we only had one strike and we were able to get through with the respective party, and they were able to take the strike away, and it worked out. And we haven't dealt with that since. So it's been very thankful with like all the artists that we reached out to, supported us. But also for 6 for 6. I know it's more about that, but like I gotta, be honest with what I've been doing with this time off and all that stuff. But like I said, we gotta show you the history of 6 for 6. So our total wins and losses, like percentage this season, ladies and gentlemen, we got a 54% win rate to a 42% loss rate for incorrect picks with a 2% tie ratio. So it's like, as you can see, We've been doing really good on our picks so far, even though our record's only like 19, 15, and 1. So a lot of things that were going on this year. As the number changes and develops, obviously this record will change, but also our win percentage overall in the life of the program. We have 52 correct, like 52 percentage, a 52% win rate to a 46% loss rate to a 1.35% tie rate. So as you can see, we have a lot of things going on for our shows. And like I said, I'm very looking forward to 6 for 6 and its growth. Like I said, I've been debating like how many seasons do I do? Do I only do 6 seasons and be done with 6 for 6, hang it up, or go for like the number of pool balls that are there or billiards? And after the last billiard has been played, then it's basically we hang it up and we've done a decade of podcasting and we kind of ride off into the sunset. I really don't know where 6 for 6 is going to end. I feel like it's a good brand. I love it and I like it, but it's challenging when you don't, get the views that you want, or you've been trying and things are not working out. It's very difficult. But it's like when you get that momentum, it's very positive. It's a great feeling. Like, yes, I can share it to my friends and grow it that way, but I just don't feel like that's the right way to go about it. If you randomly build it with like not with strangers, but people that you end up, you know, they start to follow it because they start liking what you do. I think it's worth it. I think it's more of a satisfied feeling versus like, well, I got all my friends to follow, and it's just like the numbers don't equivalent. Don't show the correlation. You have all these people, that are following the account, but the viewership does not correspond to it. So it's like false hope because it's like now you see on these high numbers, but people now may think that, well, those are a lot of bots are following that account. So it's stuff like that where it's like you got to be very precise on how you do things. And I've seen, networks grow, rise and fall over my short podcasting career in this, but I think, I'm very hopeful for it. And I can't wait to what we see for, the years to come for 6 for 6. I think, I got a podcast mic in this one, and I've upgraded. I got it for Christmas, so I'm like, I want to keep doing this kind of stuff. It's very fun. It's relaxing, and it's challenging, but it makes me think. It makes me be strategic on how I post, how to really grow a brand, and it's definitely worth it. So if you have an opportunity, if you're very passionate trying to get something off the ground, just be consistent with it. That's all I can really say. Just learn what your good skills are, hone on them, improve on them, throw it into what your hobbies are, and just let it ride. And there's nothing else that we can really say or do. I think it's just like people will find it. Like I said, like the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. So as soon as you think of that idea, just start working on it. And then some people are going to see the notice and start taking action, and then they just hop on the train and it just grows up over time. Yes, it takes years. It takes time. Yes, I've seen YouTube channels grow up from like they start very low and they had some good videos, but they were consistent. And with that consistency, it kind of ended up growing and developing to great things. I've seen them reach 10 years for some accounts. I'm like saying that's great. I remember back in high school, I was watching them 2013, 2014, and now boom, they have a good successful story. They have put in the hardship and the time watching them like grow up because like they were a part of my life as I was growing up and watching them. And now, like, I thought I too could join in that footsteps and be like, let me go and experience what that was. Cause I felt like saying it didn't take much effort to get like, a camera recording because laptops had cameras. It may not be the best quality, may not be the best video recording software, but you started it because you had a dream to go after. And I think that's what, 6 for 6 was. It's like an opportunity, a chance to build my own show with the network that I was on at the time, moving it around to another network, and then moving it to being in its own independent thing is definitely worth it. But like now having a podcast experience, I could probably eventually venture off to another show, be a co-host, or even work back behind the scenes and just really hone on my podcasting skills. I thought about it like, doing something local in like the Columbus market and like on the side gig and just like hop on like an afternoon, bring my mic, plug it into, the inputs and then just, talk, have a casual conversation with people, get to know people better, get to know the community better, and just like do something because I enjoy it. It's not like I'm making it a chore, be like, oh, I got to get up and do this every day. I think just getting that experience and just talking with people, I think is just really worth it. And I think I wouldn't trade it for the world or anything else. So bringing this program into a close, like I said, I want to bring out what the main event is. I feel like it's going to be a staple here on 6 for 6 to years to come. It's the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the women's starts at 10:45 a.m. Eastern time, 7:45 p.m. Pacific a.m. Pacific time on ESPN. That's when the women's starts, and then the men are on ESPN2 at noon Eastern, and also at 9 a.m. Eastern time for the men's. The real question is, can Joey Chestnut break another world record, get to 77 hot dogs, and will Mickey Sudo continue to dominate the women's and get to closer to 50 hot dogs? So really excited for those two individuals. Very, they have their legacy. They've been dominant very consistently. And even though, Mickey Sudo had her baby like a couple years back, now she's back in the full swing of things. It's just impressive what these two individuals have done for the, food eating contest world, and also on 4th of July to making their staple and their legacies known to this day. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you of our record for this season. Like I said, season 3 record so far is 19-15-1. Lifetime record is 116 to 104 to 3. And like I said, we will resume on July 20th. Let me see what that day is. July 20th will be a Thursday. So we will do our 6 for 6 episode in 2 weeks. We're looking at July 18th. We'll start up again, and we'll be prepared for the Women's World Cup. Like I said, 2 weeks from now, July 18th, we'll set time aside, and we'll record, and we'll start 6 for 6 off going into college football season. So we have the Women's World Cup, college football season in the NFL, and we'll get us basically to the new year. That's the game plan, what we had. We'll stop after the college football conference championship games, and that will be it for season 3. So we got a lot of episodes to get through, make miracles happen, have a crazy record. We'll try to keep our losses to a minimum and have a fantastic 3rd season. Without further ado, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time on July 18th. It'll probably be 6:30 Eastern time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time to really get that out there. So without further ado, thank you so much for supporting 6 for 6 and our 2nd anniversary. Couldn't have done without all the support of friends and family who've tuned in and supported, as well as all the people who follow on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time here on 6 for 6. So long for now. Bye-bye.